rewatching OG X-Men before 97 and officially on to season 3. And we kick things off with the return of the killer kung fu wolf bitch, Wolverine's ex-girlfriend. And I can already sense the tonal shift this season based on the fact that Cyclops and Jean go on a date where Scott doesn't get folded like fresh laundry. Wolverine and Lady Deathstrike in the middle of their fight end up damaging a space vehicle that basically had "Do Not Touch" written on it and end up releasing this evil, unstoppable, invincible alien. Years later, Superman Doomsday would take this plot and make a whole movie out of it. I guess the ship was laced with hard drugs because now Professor X is having a bad trip, and he goes from wanting to keep the peace to now having the X-Men steal a spaceship because the voices in his head told him to. They get attacked by aliens, radiation spikes, and everything nice, and thus the Dark Phoenix is born.
Jean's lying in there because you sent us in blind against something that almost destroyed us. Because you failed to warn us.
You had all the information then available.
Y'all also ran in there asking like 0 questions about why you're doing this, so who's really at fault here?
Why is it always so difficult to get a cab in New York?
Okay, there's so many levels to that scene, but Beast got his freedom papers like 2 seasons ago. He didn't just forgot he's blue, didn't he? And then Professor X must have been in that same recording session as 90s symbiote Spider-Man because the amount of screaming they have made this man do like in this first batch of episodes. Professor X gets possessed by his anger translator and then just airs out the entire team, and again, can't help but notice he went through the extra effort to make sure his projection has working legs. So then Juggernaut shows up, and oh my god, we have officially made it to the original meme of this show.
Yeah, it's the Juggernaut, bitch!
And I find it funny that Charles' friends don't believe he was attacked when there's a giant hole in the wall in frame with him right there, and then they found this man getting tossed out a window. It's not like he jumped. What even was that? And if that's how his powers work, why? Like the fact that they tried to do a stealth mission with him later on and were surprised they got caught. More aliens attack, Jean fends them off with the Phoenix, and then follows them off into space. Then we find out Scott is basically the Usopp of the group because they get jumped by space pirates, one of whom we find that is his dad, and the first thing he does without even introducing himself as his father is ask his son to go help him kill a celestial dragon. So after the Master Emerald goes out of control and Perfect Chaos gets released, the magical space emerald gets cracked and evil Big Brother goes crazy kaiju. Jean uses the Phoenix Force to seal the crystal and taxi it even further across space where nobody can reach it. Also, somewhere in the midst of all this, Professor X and Lilandra fell in love, and even after rewatching those episodes twice, I still don't see where. Next episode, Beast is hosting a Bible study in Jean's honor, and it's very obvious that Professor X can read minds but can't read a room.
Jean loved poetry, didn't she, Scott?
Like, dead-ass Charles, like, no wonder the boy quit after. Scott goes back to his old orphanage and arrives just in time to put out a fire because laser beats flame, I guess. Then we find out Kilgrave is out here adopting mutant children and basically giving them the Jessica Jones treatment. And it feels weird that he needed a mutant army to go hypnotize the governor when he could have just did that. Kilgrave pulls up on Scott at the orphanage, a battle ensues, and luckily Nancy Hicks Gribble was there to record the whole thing. And then do nothing with the footage. That or we'll see a payout to this later in the season. I'm not there yet. Next batch of episodes, one of Apocalypse's old people has PTSD from his time of employment, and Apocalypse just decides to recreate an episode of Undercover Boss to lure him out. They break into Apocalypse's ship, which has its own AI, and now Beast is apparently trying to get shipped with the ship like it's the movie Smart House. They set a trap, they fight Apocalypse, the ship hits the return to sender button, and now he's gone for however long the plot needs him to stay gone this time. The alien variant cousin of Control Freak from Teen Titans is back again. Tries to force the mutants into another game show and then fails again. And that's where I'm at right now. And apparently starting from the end of this episode, we have end credits now that don't really explain if it's the next episode or what they're referencing anymore. Also, I know that there's like a second half to this Dark Phoenix thing that they're going to do, and I'm going to get to that in a couple days. Y'all stay tuned. So far, though, it seems very... Season 3 seems a little bit all over the place. Like, yes, the Dark Phoenix played a pivotal role in that arc, but those 5 episodes feel like they could have been called something else for as little as she was in there. Still enjoying the show, still having fun, but Season 3 has been a bit of a bumpy ride. I can't tell if they're doing too much or not enough, or I'm not really sure where we're going here. But I'll let y'all know how I feel when I get to the rest of the season in a couple days. Peace.